In this picture, there are a couple of leaves near the pigeon that I want to clone out. I'll zoom in so you can see more clearly. I'm holding down Alt on the keyboard and turning the mouse wheel, and that's zooming into this area. You could also use the zoom tool here, or hold down Control on a Windows machine and press plus, or Command plus on a Mac, and then Command minus, Control minus to zoom out. I'm going to move by holding down the space bar and just dragging left. When I do that, I get the hand tool. You could choose that instead of using the space bar. You could choose it from the toolbox and use that to drag the picture. So these are the two leaves I want to take out. And I need to work non-destructively. At the moment in the layers panel, I've got just the background layer, the original image, but I don't want to corrupt that in any way. I don't want to change it. I don't want my cloning to be on that layer. So I'm going to make a new duplicate layer by going up to the layer menu, duplicate layer. Photoshop will name it background copy, which is fine. I'll say OK to that. And there it is, and it's selected. It's a bit lighter. It's got the little white corners around it. This is the one I'm now working on. I'm going to choose the clone tool, which looks like a rubber library stamp. It's number 7 down in the toolbox. It shares with the pattern stamp. By holding the mouse down, I get this fly out. I don't want the pattern stamp. I want the clone stamp. If I just go back to the move tool for a minute, if the clone stamp is showing and it's not the pattern stamp, then that's fine. I don't need to pull the fly out. I can just click on it. I don't need to hold the mouse button down. I just get the clone stamp and I'm ready to go. So I need to see what my brush size and type is like. The hardness is 86%. That's a little bit hard. I'm going to go for about 75% to get a soft edge which will blend the edges of my clone rather better. Now I could do it all in one go. When I move the brush over it, it's it's cloning in from some area somewhere. You can see as I move around, it's cloning in from the pigeon to the higher area. So I need to hold down Alt on the keyboard and tell Photoshop where I want it to clone from. So here, this is a nice clean area of grass, fairly random, no obvious things in that would give away where I'd copied it from. So I'm holding down Alt, I've just clicked, let go of Alt. So my brush is larger than the leaf, and so I'm aiming to do it all in one go. I'm going to click and see what I think of that. It's not bad. It's probably good enough actually, because this is a fairly small area of the picture. But what I could do, because this is quite a large area, I've just done Control Z to undo that so I can show you again. What I would do if I wanted to do a slightly better job is, rather than trying to do it all in one, do it in 2 or 3 goes. And I would choose different source places. So I'll Alt click from here, I'll click here. I'm going to take a bit from over here and click here. Let's try taking a bit from here and clicking here. So by doing this, I'm randomizing what it looks like, and maybe use a smaller brush. I don't want to choose something with an obvious pattern to it, because that pattern will then repeat, and that's exactly what I want to avoid. So one more click will do it there. So that looks pretty random to me. I don't think I could tell I'd cloned that. Of course, with it, I'm working on the background copy, and if I switch on and off the visibility eye, I can see the effects of my clone, the visibility eye in the layers panel. Right, so I'm also going to do this leaf. This leaf has got this little leaf next to it here. I can show you the dangers of cloning. If I click Alt and I press Alt, click on that leaf, and now I drag over it, do you see the way it's repeated? It's repeated that little leaf, and actually it's also caught the original leaf itself and replicated it above. And that was because I chose this leaf as a source, so it immediately duplicated. And then when I was dragging, it just moved the source along. And because I hadn't changed the leaf I was trying to hide, it reproduced that. above it. So this is a really bad clone. This is really what I want to avoid. So I'm going to undo that. This time I'll use the history panel. I could use Command Z, Control Z, but I did that last time. So just to show you a different way, I will undo that last clone operation, which I did all in one click, so it's only one operation. Okay, so let's do that a bit better. I think I need to sort this little leaf out, so I'm just going to do an Alt click here. I'm going to do that all in one go, just take that out, and I think this little leaf also I'll do as well. So an Alt click and just on top of it. Try and use as small a brush as you can. You don't want to change a bigger area than you need to. So I chose a brush that was just a little bit bigger than the leaf. Okay, so this one here, I'm going to use the same sort of technique. I'm Alt clicking from here, coming over here, Alt click here and over here. And this really randomizes the clone of the leaf. So that's done that. On my background copy, I'll turn that on and off, and that's fine. I'm happy with that. So at this point, I'll save it, File, Save As. Although it was a JPEG when I opened it, and I called it Content Aware Move because that's what I'll be showing next. It was a JPEG when I opened it, but Photoshop has spotted that it's got layers in it and now wants to save it as a PSD file. So that's fine. I will go with that. And so that's finished that for now.